Hi guys, it's Terry from Terry's Tweakteaks. I'm working on a cabinet right now for a customer who wanted some type of musical notes on it. Where her husband places it at, it's by his piano. Well, this is where she keeps it at anyway. Um, so I got lucky and I found this transfer by Redesign. It's called Music in the Butterflies, which I think is beautiful. Um, I wasn't sure about white, but that's all it came in with the musical notes. On top of the, I used, it's called Armor by Shabby Paints. It's a beautiful, it looks blue in the camera, but it's not. It's more like what you see on the door. It's like a gorgeous, it's actually one of the prettiest, brightest, I call it peacock teals myself, but it's called Armor. But it's one of the brightest ones I've seen yet, the teals, and I love it. So anyway, and then I just shadowed it with some waxes and gold and stuff like that. So now I'm gonna try to see how this comes out looking. I don't know if I'm going to like it in the bright white. If not, I might be able to tone it down some, because I just have a thing like if it's got that vintage feel, and I'm not sure about the bright white keeping that vintage feel. And then I made some of the Prima molds. There's a little one here, and then I did one here, just to give it a little bit of character. It was a little boring. So I'm gonna work on that and hope it comes out right. I'm not sure. I'm excited to see what it looks like. Oh, and I also used, this is hazelnut, one of my favorite Revax. Well, actually, it's not a Revax, it's a Vax. It's kind of, reminds me kind of like of a gel stain, but you just, what I do anyway, I squeeze it out and use a blue sponge, which I'm sorry I don't have on me right now, and I dampen my sponge first, squeeze some of this out on it, and then I just spread it, which I can show you when I'm done. And I do the wood grain with it, and it's beautiful. It's already sealed and everything in one. You don't have to go back over it with anything if you don't want to. One of my favorite things for antiquing with too. And this one is in the hazelnut, and they also have it in the black. I'm not sure if there's other colors out yet, but this stuff is really awesome. Okay, so anyway, let me finish following through here with this transfer, and eventually, like I said, if I don't like what the white looks like, I may try to go over it and antique it, hoping it doesn't hurt the transfer, but we'll see. It's just a guessing game right now because I'm not even sure, honestly. But this cabinet was really, really old, wore out. Like, it had been painted an off-white. It kind of reminded, why is it rocking? I'm gonna have to stick something under that leg. It's driving me nuts. It was in a, I would call it an acrylic, maybe, no, actually maybe more like an enamel base white paint. It was so bad and so thick on it that I actually ended up using a scraper, and sanding was taking forever with a palm sander. So I ended up scraping most of it off with a spackle knife, and I was able to literally just do that and get it off, and it left the original color of the wood, which was a darker brown. But I didn't want to go over all that white paint. It was too thick, too many coats, and just whoever put it on it was just gobbed on it with some drips, and just I couldn't go over that. So I feel better knowing that I stripped it all, got it off. The only thing I didn't do was right here, the legs, you know, real good because they were so hard to get to, trying to get it off. But one thing I can say, and I'm not just saying this, I have a chair I'm working on with the Bohemian table set that I'm doing. I think I've posted some pictures on my page. It's that chair in different colors that I'm doing to match a table set in the Bohemian style for a customer. The poor lady's been waiting forever. But I put it on a chair just to test the color, this color, without even sanding it. And it, you know, that's an old antique set, and it has that, the original finish on it, the shiny stain finish. So I tested it with this color on some of the top just to see if I would like it. Do you know, after a day or two, every time I walked by it, I kept doing this to it, like this, trying to scratch it, and I could not budge that paint off of that chair. So that shocked me because of the surface under it being so shiny, and actually wasn't even sanded yet, so technically it was still, even though I had washed them once, but there's so much grime in them old chairs, you know, they get that grease buildup. That's why I was making a point to try and sand them, at least all the tops, because there's just too much buildup on them to just paint right over. But I'm just amazed at how well it stays on. It's amazing. And that's without being sealed or anything. It just like instantly seals itself. It's crazy. This is the chalk paint I started with when I first started chalk painting. I guess it's going on 5 years ago. One of the very first paints I tried and I fell in love with. It was very easy to manipulate it. Like if I had, you know, a drip or it was a little thick, you know, because it being a dry chalk paint at the time, just take my sanding sponge or my sander, just, you know, smooth it right out, but your paint is still there. You're not wiping your paint off, and it smooths out for you without having to repaint it. That's what I love about it. Now, they have changed it up a bit. I guess you would say the recipe. I think it is now has more of a built-in sealer on it. Shannon would have to answer that question from Shabby Paints, the owner. So I'm just trying to get her live out there to show you me putting this on and talking about her paint, because I really do love her paint. It's one of my favorites. And this is the first time, like recently, because for a while I couldn't get it. For some reason, there was something going on, I couldn't get it. But, oh shoot, let me try to push that back down. See, this one's trying to mess up right there. I don't mind if it gets a little messed up. I'm one of those type, I don't care about perfection. I think a little screw up gives it the more vintage look anyway. I'm not one of those OCDers like, it doesn't work. You could give yourself a heart attack worrying about stuff like that. It's not worth the drama. But anyway, yeah, so once the paint became available again, and she changed up the recipe, I started, you know, collaborating with her. So now I'm working with her paints to promote them, which is a good thing, and Shannon has, you know, helped me out. So I just wanted to go out there and show you guys her style of paint in case you've never tried it. Now, what do you guys think about that white? Is it too white? I don't know. I'd have to step back and wait till I get the other side done. Let me take off where I scrubbed that with my nail. Gave it a little dulling. Okay. I like it. I think I can work with it. If not, like I said, I'll antique it down. I'll see. So that's one side. Now I need to cut another piece for this side. I could have went straight through, you know, just ran the whole piece like this, right on over the door and everything, and just let it all stay connected. But after thinking about it, I didn't want that. I want that separation between the door, and I wanted it to kind of be more focused in the center. So Now I gotta figure out, it's very hard to see the pattern because it's white on white, which drives me crazy. I wish it was a black background, so it's very hard to kind of see what you're looking at. But this is a beautiful pattern. I do love it with the music, and I'm gonna actually try to do some on the sides too. Now I'm debating, should I do another butterfly? I kind of feel like I want one to even it out, like it's flying away. I think I may do that. I have two. See which design would look better. Nope, definitely not. Too close to butterfly. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a butterfly here, and that butterfly will help balance out that butterfly, and it'll, you know, it's got a little bit of its own look to it. So that's what I'm going to do, cut out right around there. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut the pattern out. And I did do some of the faded stripes on the side. That's something I learned from Cece, from I think it's Cece Restyled and Renewed. She's one of my favorite artists. I love watching her too. I have several favorite artists, several. But that's where I learned about doing the stripes, from Cece. So anyway, I'm gonna just see if I can get this balanced out. It drives me crazy trying to get it just right, as far as even. See, I don't want this side too close. See if that's about right, I hope. It's kind of hard when you're on top of it to actually say like, oh yeah, that's even. And I wanted the bottom musical note to be in it too, so I'm gonna have to focus here where I'm putting it. Okay, where is the bottom note compared to here? I would say about, I think that's about right, but I'll need it over. It's gotta be more in the green. Oh. And if I see something where I have extra space, I may just want to use extra notes anyway and fill in bare spots. Now see, I want to come over. I don't want, oh, actually I do have a little bit of that green out over there, so I don't want to come too close. I'm trying to, you know, balance it so it doesn't look odd. I think that's about right. I'm just going to pray it is, because it's so hard when you're by yourself trying to figure it out. You don't have that second eye to stand back and tell you. And I'm sure most of you know about the transfers, you know, just all you can do is push hard, scrape on it like this, and sometimes when you get the air bubbles under it, it's actually better. It helps to start allowing your transfer to release. For some reason, it just seems to work better. So when you get those air pockets, don't panic. They're actually good for it. Let me see. If this doesn't stick, I'm gonna definitely check it because I don't want to lose that number. It says NO3, number 3. Little bitty thing there, right there, and I just don't want to lose it. But yeah, check out some of the Shabby Paint colors. There are some beautiful colors she has. I'm hoping to do a lot more pieces with them, with the colors I have. I've just been so behind on getting other stuff done that I haven't been able to really show her paint line like I want to, her colors and stuff. Okay, everything's rocking. But I'm telling you, like this piece is sitting between my dining room and kitchen. Right now it's where I do a lot of my work. It's too cold in the garage, and my garage is so packed with furniture I can't move. It's ridiculous. But when I'd stand over at the kitchen waiting for this transfer to come in, I'd just look over and see this color and be like, my God, that color's so vibrant and pretty. And I've worked with a lot of teals, turquoises. If anybody knows my work, I do some really crazy, colorful stuff on the lingerie chest. I get a lot of custom orders for that from Etsy. But just gotta dive in. Don't be afraid. Just do it. Like they say, if you don't like it, you can always go back over it again. Plus, you know, a lot of the groups are there to help you and answer all the questions you need answered. I've had many people message me privately or on Etsy even and ask me questions about, you know, my paint or my technique. And I just share it, you know. That's what, I just don't mind, you know. I don't mind people asking questions. That's how I learned. When I started out, I had no clue. When I started doing this, it was pure almost accident. I just did one piece and it just went from there. And you just keep going and you grow. Trying to get this done so you guys can see it, and I want you to see the top from the hazelnut glaze, how pretty the top is. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. And like they say, you can actually, like if you know it's settled down, you can take a soft sanding sponge and kind of rub it or dry, well, actually, don't do the soft sanding sponge, I guess, unless you maybe want to distress it a little. But you can take a dry, like, cloth. The, like, terry cloths work really good, and just spin it in circles like this to burnish it. It's kind of like burnishing it on, like, see where, right here, this is sticking up a bit. But, I'll just either rub it till it rubs in or rubs off, either or. But for the most part, I think it's coming out nice. So now I'll work on putting some musical notes on the side. Let me see if I can show you the sides. I don't know. Yeah, this one is kind of like I was telling you about the faded stripes. Let me see if I can lift this up for you. Oopsie, sorry guys. Let me see. So it's. I did it with the gold. I think I actually did this with the rub and buff, right? Yeah, it was the rub and buff. And then I went back with some, I think it's the redesigned with Prima wax. Oh geez, I'd have to get it out, but it's a beautiful purple one. Puts out a really pretty color. So I just went back over some of the gold and blended it down, and I'll figure out something. I'm thinking I'm going to put some musical notes here, and it'll almost remind me of the piano keys with the musical notes here. I'll figure it out. Okay, and let me try to show you. I'm still working on the top too. Right here, this piece here, I'm still working on. I have to do it up, but I did make that mold too from Redesign with Prima. And I did it with the, geez, what did I use? This wasn't the hot glue, right? No. This was the acrylic. I think the 50-50 mix. I did them a while ago. I've just held on to them. But you can also use hot glue. I've done them. I mean, it's easier, but I like the acrylic too because I don't know, it's stronger. I prefer that, honestly, on my furniture. But let me show you. Oh, and that's just let me see if I can lift this. It's hard to do this with a tripod hooked to it. This is the rub and buff too here, just to pop it out with the gold. But see, you can see the hazelnut. That's what it is right there. Hope that's good. So that's the hazelnut. And then down here I'm working on, I still have to finish with the rub and buff gold. And I don't know if close up you can see it. There's like, it's kind of like blues, like a blue in here. A little bit of the redesign with Prima wax. There's gold mixed in it. There's quite a few colors. So, I wish this camera would show how pretty this teal is. It's making it look blue and it's driving me nuts. It's definitely not. I think down there you can see it a little better. In that type of lighting. It's really, really popping turquoise. It's gorgeous. Okay, guys, that's it for now. When I'm done, hold on. Oopsie. When I'm done, I'll post a finished piece and let everybody see it. Okay, bye for now.